On top of that, many of our diplomatic allies, representatives also here, they will be invited to speak a few words later. But most importantly, you are here. You are here to show your solidarity and show your support. It is because of such continuous support and kind assistance that sustains us, the Taiwan people and the government, to fight this important fight. We want to show the world that while United Nations speaking about inclusiveness, universality, they leave Taiwan behind. The Taiwan 23 million people should not be left behind, right? We should be included in this important journey while the United Nations is working this important endeavor to implement these global goals, sustainable development goals. Taiwan wants to be playing our constructive part. We are their trustworthy partner. Our track record shows that. Our diplomatic allies, our partner countries know we can be a good partner in the world. So thank you very much for supporting us and have a good fight, have a good march. Thank you.
Next, we have a very special guest. She is the ambassador to the Marshall Islands at the UN. Could we please give her a warm round of applause, and she will share a few words of support to Taiwan's participation in the United Nations. Thank you, everyone. Please give her a warm round of applause.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. Marshall Islands stand with Taiwan and its people. 23 million people of Taiwan are important. They are part of the UN family and should be in the UN family. Let's not marginalize Taiwan, because Taiwan is part of the UN and the United Nations family. Yeah. That is the truth. And we need to make sure that the countries and the UN system also say what they're saying, that nobody's left behind. We cannot let 23 million people of Taiwan be out of the UN family. This is the truth. Let's fight for it. Let's make sure that everyone is not left behind, including Taiwan. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. The United Nations should be inclusive, and they always say that they will leave no one behind. But to this day, the population of 23 million peace-loving people in Taiwan continue to be left behind. We have legislator Ye Jing from Taiwan, and then she will share a few words about how Taiwan can help. Thank you.
各位台湾国的乡亲，大家午安，大家好。我即摆讲国语吼，若听无的较歹势，等下我叫人翻译一下吼。真欢喜，会当来甲纽约遮和大家徛做伙。我要甲大家提醒的是，为香港，咱会当看出来，其实民主自由。毋是天顶落落来，是咱有济人做伙拍拼，今日台湾才会当选家己的总统，选家己的政府，这是一种民主的表现，嘛是人权，嘛是一种的幸福。我希望大家会当保守咱这款的权利。咱一定爱伫每一处的投票内底展示咱台湾人要保留这款的权利，所以拜托各位乡亲开始规划，转来投票。拜托各位乡亲，伫任何的机会，甲所有咱各国的朋友讲，咱台湾人要 keep Taiwan free。要继续保持这款民主自由的制度，咱是韩民相向的，咱甚至是替这个民主国家来抵抗一个 个想要迫害全世界的民主自由法治的中国。所以台湾人真辛苦，需要较侪各国的朋友来甲咱相挺。台湾人有权利加入联合国，对不对？对。咱做伙拍拼，感谢大家，谢谢。Thank you very much.
Taiwan is Taiwan!
Taiwan is Taiwan!
Taiwan can help!
Taiwan can help!
Keep Taiwan free!
Keep Taiwan free!
Keep Taiwan free!
Keep Taiwan free!
As some of you may know, this movement has been around for more than 2 decades. We have seen the older generation pass it down to the younger generation. We are so happy to see so many people from multiple generations here continue to spread awareness about Taiwan and to stand as allies with the Hong Kong, Tibetan, and Uyghur communities. Our next speaker is a young and rising activist of the Taiwanese community. We are so pleased to have him here today. Some of you may know him from several months ago, where he shared a Facebook post where he stood up to his professor and told him that he needs to stand up for the Uyghur community. Let's please welcome George Tang here to share a few words.
I am so proud to stand here with all of you today as we speak up for our country. Taiwan is a brave nation. Centuries ago, we were colonized by Holland, by Spain, by China, and by Japan. 70 years ago, we were ruled by the world's second longest martial law. And then since then, China has thrown more than 570,000 bombs on our lands. But we fought back. We stood up together and we never stopped being brave. And this is what led us to where we are today. Today, we are ranked first place in Asia for gender equality. Today, we became the first country in Asia to legalize same-sex marriage. But we are still out here today because China's aggression are stronger than ever. Don't be afraid of speaking up. Be afraid of what will happen when we don't. So let's speak up for our home, our family, and our country. Let's speak up even if our voices shake. So to the people of China attacking us and our cause, I have one simple question I want to ask you. Why do you think that Taiwan is a part of China? Because we speak the same language? Well, I've got some news for you. There are 59 countries in the world speaking English and 29 speaking French. Because we're from the same race, because we're both Han Chinese. While Taiwan, unlike China, celebrates our diversity with more than 16 indigenous groups. We, unlike China, will not put our people in concentration camps just because of their ethnicity. This is not reunification. When you're pointing thousands of missiles at us. This is not reunification when Taiwan never wanted to be part of China. This is not reunification when China has to force countries into silence when they try to talk about our freedom, independence, and democracy. This is not reunification. This is invasion, this is colonization, and Taiwan will never be part of China. So to the Taiwanese people out here and all our supporters around the world, you are not alone. The CCP is waging a war against humanity and human rights. And we will not stay silent when our allies are under attack. We are at the crossroads of history, and please have complete faith that we are standing on the right side. I believe that one day, the 2 million Uyghurs in concentration camps can one day be free. Concentration camps where kids are brainwashed, where girls are raped, and when men are tortured to death. I believe that one day the 2 million Hong Kongers won't have to face rubber bullets, tear gas, sexual assault, and police brutality just because they believe that they too have a say in their freedom and democracy. I believe that one day the world will also have a place for a country full of hope, courage, and freedom called Taiwan. It is normal to be afraid, especially when we are standing against such a powerful enemy. To be completely honest with all of you, I am terrified too. But there comes a time when silence is betrayal, because neutrality in the face of evil is complicity. And when Hong Kongers have lost their jobs, their vision, and even their lives fighting our fight, this is our duty to stand with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let us speak up for Taiwan. Don't be afraid. Be afraid of what will happen if we don't speak up. Let freedom ring in Tibet. Let freedom ring in East Turkestan. Let freedom ring in Hong Kong. And let freedom ring in Taiwan. Thank you so much.
Hey.
Thank you so much, George. Let's give him a warm round of applause. The future of Taiwan is in good hands. And I know that the future of Hong Kong is also in good hands. Our next speaker is someone that you may have heard of before, or you may have read her words before. She once wrote an article called "I Am Hong Konger and Not Chinese." She is an active Hong Kong student activist based in Boston, and we are so happy to have her here today. Please welcome Frances Hui on stage to share a few words.
Hey y'all, I'm Frances Hui. I'm the author of the article "I'm from Hong Kong, Not China." Can I hear anyone who are from Hong Kong here? Thank you, Keep Taiwan Free, for having me today. To give you a little bit of context, I'm a journalism student at Emerson College in Boston. After being assaulted and threatened for the article that I wrote about my identity of being a Hong Konger, I organized over 5 events and 2 marches in Boston in support of the movement in Hong Kong. And despite last time, in our last march, despite getting death threats and harassment, we had over 600 people from diverse communities to show up to join us to stand with Hong Kong. And among them, the people who join us, there are always a group of Taiwanese who support us all the way and attend all of our events. They're always there. When our Lennon Wall was taken down and was damaged, they were always there. They were upset. They were mad. When we faced pro-China protesters on the different side, they were loud chanting back and forth, encountering them. They were always there to be with us. Hong Kongers and Taiwanese are always together on this. And so as other communities that are being marginalized by China, including Uyghurs and Tibetans. We're all facing the same kind of oppression, the same kind of struggles. But being marginalized doesn't mean that we're small, we're quiet. The movement in Hong Kong and the people in Hong Kong are clearly showing our faith and our resistance against the oppression of China. We're loud telling people that we're here fighting for our freedom. We're little, but we are here telling you guys that we're here fighting and we need you to see us, we need you to hear us. And here we go, the international aspects already see us, that we're fighting here. I see a lot of people coming here. Not only that you're supporting Taiwan's democracy and freedom, but you're also telling us that you stand with us as an ally. I hope everyone here can remember the line that today's Hong Kong could be Taiwan's tomorrow. Hong Kongers and Taiwanese cannot compromise, cannot back down anymore. Today, if you still think one country, two system is none of a big deal, you are not listening, Hong Kongers. Because Hong Kongers right now, for the past 2 months or so, they have been using their own body to obstruct bullets to remind Taiwanese and other communities that one country, two system is a lie. Please don't believe that. This is not something you should take. This is the consequence of accepting one country, two system. So please, Taiwan, when you have the last resort to protect your a little bit of freedom, please do so and tell the world that we're all here fighting against the Chinese Communist Party because we're here to resist, to rebound, and we will let the world to see us. Don't compromise, don't be scared, because we're all here holding hands with each other for democracy, for human rights, for justice, for freedom, and for a brighter future. And I hope one day I don't have to risk the chance of being threatened or assaulted because I say I'm from Hong Kong, not China. And I hope that my friends from Taiwan would also be bold to tell people that I'm from Taiwan out loud without fearing of losing her friends. Because this is a very important identity of ours, and this is our home where we belong to, not the country that rule over or tries to rule over. Keep Taiwan free!
Keep Taiwan free!
Keep Hong Kong free!
Keep Hong Kong free!
No more tyranny!
No more tyranny!
We want democracy!
You want democracy!
Keep Taiwan free!
Keep Taiwan free!
Keep Hong Kong free!
Keep Taiwan free!
I will repeat the last line just to have everyone to understand my words because it's very important. 我希望大家可以记住今天香港明日台湾这句话。香港人跟台湾人不可以再妥协，不可以再让步，因为今天如果你还觉得一国两制是没有问题的话，你就是不相信香港人的声音。今天香港人站在香港的街道上，用他们自己的身躯去挡子弹，就是要为了让台湾人知道，这就是接受一国两制的后果。一国两制本来就是一个谎言。今天香港就是要警惕台湾人，如果你拥护民主自由的话，就请你们继续跟我们走下去，继续保护台湾的民主，还有香港人的自由，不妥协，不害怕，因为我们都会在这里，为了民主，为了自由，为了公义，为了人权，跟你们在这里手拉着手，好吗？台湾人加油！
台湾加油！
香港人加油！
香港人加油！
光復香港！光復香港！光復香港！香港人！香港人！ Thank you so much.
Free Hong Kong!
Free Hong Kong!
Free Hong Kong!
Free Hong Kong!
Support 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 human rights!
Support human rights!
Support democracy!
Support democracy!
Next, we have a very special speaker, and she joined us all the way from Washington, D.C. She is currently with the Uyghur Human Rights Project, and she has joined our rally for several years. Please put your hands together to welcome Zubaira Shamsuddin from the Uyghur Human Rights Project. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Dear Jenny and other organizers of this great event, I am honored to be here today and to support you to keep Taiwan free. from the Chinese Communist government's tyranny and dictatorship. Taiwan is currently a free and democratic state. It is a beacon of hope for those inside mainland China under the dictatorial regime of Xi Jinping. It is a society where freedom of expression without persecution, detention, torture, and the disappearance is possible. It is a version of what China can be, where corrupt state officials, government-backed elites, and the selected patriotic people can be tried through its political system, where its citizens can live without a fear of government demolishing their homes or disappearing them into black jails. It's relatively free from CCP's control through its one country, two system policy. We have all watched as the people of Hong Kong come out to protest when CCP moved to gain more control over the region through its extradition bill. Now, 3 months on, the demonstrators have shown us what unity, the people, and the democracy in action can look like against an authoritarian regime. Yet, CCP will not back down. Instead of listening to legitimate complaints from Hong Kong, they have shown us an unwillingness to work for its people and to react with police brutality, arrests, violence, fear, rigidity, and by bringing in the army. This is not a people's republic. This is Xi Jinping's dictatorship. This situation in Hong Kong right now is a turning point. The way Tiananmen Square was a turning point. The way the July 5th, 2009 massacre of protesters in Urumqi was a turning point for Uyghurs. Protest, crackdown, and silence. That is what happened in the past. The world did not respond to China then. Thousands were killed and thousands more disappeared. The world believed China would solve the internal problems and move on to become a better country. The world was wrong. After 2009, the CCP created its most securitized surveillance state in East Turkestan, an open-air prison on all accounts, and detained up to 3 million of its citizens in concentration camps. What's happening to Uyghurs in a blueprint for what can happen to the rest of China, and if unchecked, many of these tactics could control people who enter and are already entering Hong Kong, Taiwan, and the rest of the world. Keep Hong Kong free!
Keep Hong Kong free!
Keep Taiwan free!
Keep Taiwan free!
Time and time again, the CCP have proven to us that we cannot believe their empty promises. We need true democracy and freedom. We need to value our identity, worth, beliefs, and dignity. We need to resist CCP assimilation. Do not give up on what makes you who you are. We need to be able to live without the fear of persecution based on our different appearances, our languages, beliefs, cultures, and the lifestyles. Without fear that these aspects of ourselves will be destroyed in favor of complete conformity to the party's will. We need to live without fear and the devastation of our family separation, forced marriages, the destruction of private life with government, state officials literally living in our homes, forcing us to eat, sleep, and to live with the very people who oppress us. This is what will happen if we do not keep Taiwan free. We need freedom to move into China. We do not want the CCP's regime to spread to the rest of the world. Taiwan has been an example to millions of Chinese people that also deserve an open, free society. Each and every Chinese person who desires freedom should support and protect the democracy in Taiwan. Currently, the Chinese Communist government under Xi, instead of using Taiwan as a role model to implement democratic rule in China, who desires freedom, instead implement democratic rule in China, instead to make it part of China like East Turkestan, Tibet, and the South of Mongolia. Our Uyghur, Tibetan, Mongol, and other Chinese democracy movement activism and the current atrocity that is taking place in East Turkestan proves that under the Chinese communist regime, it is impossible. Keep Hong Kong free!
Keep Hong Kong free!
Make East Turkestan, Tibet, and Inner Mongolia free from Chinese dictatorship. Thank you. Thank you.
Keep Taiwan free!
Keep Taiwan free!
Keep Taiwan free!
Keep Taiwan free!
Support human rights!
Support human rights!
Support democracy!
Support democracy!
Support freedom!
Support freedom!
Our next speaker is a very dear friend of our Taiwanese American community here in New York City. He is a board member of the Students for Free Tibet. Tendor, would you please come share a few words? Please give him a warm round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you to all our Taiwanese friends. I'm from the Tibetan community, and I'm here today to tell you all that the Tibetan people are with you in Taiwan. The Tibetan people stand with Hong Kong all the way. The Tibetan people are with you, all the Uyghurs, our friends in East Turkestan. You know, we've been talking about one country, two systems, right? Do you know what one country, two systems actually means? What does it mean? It means colonialism. It's just a fancy word for colonialism, right? We have one country, two systems in Xinjiang, in East Turkestan. Go check it out. There is concentration camps, right? China is the new Nazi Germany today. That is one country, two systems. We have one country, two systems in Tibet, starting from 1950. Since 1951, Tibet was the first experiment for one country, two systems, and it's been a spectacular disaster. It's complete failure. 1.2 million Tibetans died as a direct result of Chinese illegal occupation. So of course, one country, two systems is never going to work in Hong Kong either. As we can see taking place in the streets of Hong Kong right now, China always wants to tighten the screws one day after another until Hong Kong is suffocating. So we are completely in sympathy with our friends in Hong Kong. So Taiwan, for example. Taiwan is the real country that deserves to be in the United Nations. Does Taiwan deserve a seat in the UN? You know, for me, the question is not why Taiwan deserves to be in the UN. The question is, how come Taiwan is still not in the UN? You know all the countries that are in the United Nations? Do you know all these small countries that are in the UN today? Have you ever heard of Tuvalu? It's in the UN. Do you know about Grenada? You know about Malta? These are all really tiny countries with very, very small populations. Liechtenstein, countries that we cannot even pronounce. There is less than 30,000 people in some of these countries, right? But they all have a seat in the UN. Now look at Taiwan. Taiwan fulfills every standard that's required to have a seat in the United Nations. Nearly